And on that note, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Series X podcast. That is right, guys. This is an Xbox podcast for the Xbox gamer out there. There is no talk of any other platform in the show and hopefully in the chat. So, guys, don't talk about other platforms in the chat. That's all I gotta say. I got moderators that will remove that stuff. But what is going on, people? It's another Sunday, and I cannot wait to get into this show with you guys. And of course, I am joined by my partner in crime on YouTube. His name is the Elusive Gamer on Twitter, and in real life, it is my brother Jamie Moran. What is going on, bro?
Hey man, happy to be back. It feels like a long time since the last episode because so much has happened. So we just need to get into it, man.
Yeah, definitely. And guys, huge shout out for the people chiming in early, getting in early. I'm gonna do this, and I ask you to do it with me. I am gonna hit the thumbs up button. I did not hit it yet. I'm gonna hit it now. I ask you guys, please hit that thumbs up button. Share this show out. Let the Xbox gamers out there know that there is a place where you can come and you can talk about Xbox. You can celebrate Xbox. You can criticize Xbox. And you don't have to deal with the console war drama. That's what this show was created to do. That's why there is no other talk about any other platforms. Because even if we start comparing and stuff like that, it just feeds in to that console war BS. And we are not about that here on this show. So go ahead, just like Skit Eastwood showed in the chat, hit that thumbs up button, share this out where you know Xbox gamers are, and let them know there is a place to go and to talk about Xbox. Guys, did we do a show last week or no? I don't remember, man.
I don't think so, but so much has happened since the last one. We may as well just say there wasn't one.
Well, brother, I know. You have been living on cloud 9 since the VGAs, man. I gotta ask you real quick because it has been a while, dude. What were your highlights for the video game awards? When it comes to Xbox's presence, okay, and You could definitely go multi-plat as well because I think I know what number one is for you. All right, and again, we walk that fine line where we don't talk about other platforms, but multi-plats go on Xbox, so we can talk about multi-plats. So brother, what did you think about Xbox's presence in the VGAs, and what were your highlights coming out of the VGAs in that show, man?
I've gave Jeff Keighley a lot of flack over the years about the Game Awards, but I must say I thoroughly enjoyed this year. There was a ton of Xbox stuff. There's a ton of stuff that interested me. Almost every single third-party game shown there literally interested me. So off the bat, great start, and after commend Jeff Keighley, that was a good show. But the highlights, Perfect Dark. I mean, I've made a video on details of Perfect Dark. Like, that came out of left field, and there's been rumors about Perfect Dark for a while now, and it's just happy that it's finally out there in the wild that we got Perfect Dark, and it was just an awesome trailer. Back for Blood, which is Turtle Rock's new game. It's essentially Left 4 Dead 3, but not called Left 4 Dead 3. And, it looks exactly what I want from a Left 4 Dead 3. So hey, I'm all happy about that game.
Real quick on the Back for Blood. What I was shocked about, and first off, that was my main thing. That was my main takeaway from the entire VGAs. And here's the reason why. First off, they showed gameplay, and then the gameplay, it said pre-alpha. Now, Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong, like, that looked pretty, incredibly pretty for it to be pre-alpha, man. It was hard for me to believe, dude.
Yeah, I mean, when they came out with the CGI trailer, and I saw a lot of comments going, "Oh, it's not gameplay." And then they came out and showed us gameplay straight away, and I thought the game looked fantastic. And I've seen more gameplay since the show, and if that's alpha and it's going to continue to look better, hey, that's going to be one hell of a game. And plus, it comes out in June, which for a new game like that to be announced, a new Warner Brothers game, that's just a huge game to be announced like that. And again, one of the best things shown there, in my opinion. There's a new RPG coming out called Crimson Desert. It looks unbelievable. I've not really seen anything like that before. It's set in the Black Desert universe.
Yo, the graphics were absolutely amazing in what they showed with that game.
Yeah, like everything they saw there was gameplay, and there's like parts where like you're taking down a castle, you're flying a dragon and stuff, and it's like it's probably one of the best looking games visually that they had there. Um, things like Warhammer 40K Dark Tide gameplay. It was only about a minute long, but hey, it's basically Vermintide in space, and you can't really go wrong with that now, can you? And then Mass Effect. So
Go ahead. Go ahead.
obviously, I talk about Mass Effect a lot because one of the reasons why people ask me like, why do I always talk about Mass Effect, and I've never really talked about this. So if you like a game in general, chances are you're going to gravitate towards other games that are like it. So if you like GTA, chances are you picked up Watch Dogs, Sleeping Dogs, something like that, a Mafia, so you can get that similar experience. The reason I talk about Mass Effect all the time is because I've never had an experience similar to Mass Effect other than Mass Effect. That's why I'm looking at Outriders right now, because it's literally a lot like Mass Effect. If you like BioShock, you gravitate towards Prey or, maybe like Singularity back in the day. But if you're a Mass Effect fan, we haven't had that. So when this trailer popped up, and, I knew there was a new Mass Effect coming, but when they showed the Yara and the N7 place, like I freaked out. I almost passed out. Like because I didn't think BioWare would have the balls to go forward and go post Mass Effect 3, and it was obvious the destroy ending. And I'm gonna talk about this in a future video because there's tons of crap in that trailer no one's picked up on yet. But it's like the second they showed the Yara's face, like that was a commitment. Like BioWare have put out a big promise that we're going to get post Mass Effect 3. None of this Andromeda Galaxy 500 years set in a different galaxy bullshit. Like we are going to get proper Mass Effect. And I've been saying for months now, this Mass Effect trilogy remaster is to set us up for a new game. So we're not going to have any of this open world, Ubisoft stuff like Andromeda. Like we should be going back to like Mass Effect roots, and it was just nice to see because I didn't think BioWare had the balls in them to do this. And it's a promise. It's a risky promise because they have to give us the benefit, the payoff now. They have to deliver the goods basically. And as a Mass Effect fan, I kind of let the franchise go. Like as much as I'm looking forward to the remaster, I kind of came to terms with the fact that I'm never going to get another game in the franchise that I might like.
Talking with you about that, like building up, I kind of I've had that sense. Me and you talking like off air and such. You definitely kind of stated that. Yeah, you kind of came to grips with what might be and what might not be when it comes to the Mass Effect franchise. So I can definitely see that, bro.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to any game that we haven't had another entry in for a long time, like. It's understandable why I think that. Like Andromeda was a failure, and hell, we had multiple books and comics cancelled because of that game's performance and how it was reviewed. But it's like BioWare fans have like been put through a lot with these like past few games. Anthem, Mass Effect Andromeda, even Dragon Age Inquisition. I didn't really like that much. I know it won game to me. Like this is a good sign for BioWare. And even though we got maybe like half a frame of an animation for the next Dragon Age, it's just some promise for the next BioWare games because, we just had the news that Casey Hudson and that other dude left. And like, to me, that was like, oh, they're making a new Mass Effect game and Casey Hudson's not going to be there. But then they showed the Yara's face and I'm like, I'm going to give you a chance again. Don't let me down. But yeah, we'll see. And the thing is, that game's going to be years away, and I'm probably going to play the Mass Effect remaster 3 or 4 times by the time that comes out. So that's years away.
I gotta say, it is very, very good to hear you so excited, brother. And you're like, yeah, no, I'm gonna give them one more chance now with what they showed. Oh man, I'm getting a phone call here, but yo, what is up, Sir X-Man? He has joined us. What is up, brother? Yo, bro, Sir X-Man, can you hear us? All right, brother, we cannot hear you. So, yo, Jamie.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there he is. There he is. What is going on, dude? Yo, say what's up to everybody.
Hello, everybody. What's up? How you doing?
Hey, brother, it is good to have you joining us, man. You were a part of my live stream uh, doing golf before the Series X podcast. Oh, man, and my phone just keeps ringing on this. Do, 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 do. Yo, Jamie, go ahead and start with the open world game that you were talking about. I got to mute myself real quick.
Yeah, so recently there's been talk about a new open world game in development at Microsoft Game Studios, or them working with multiple studios. And this news came from job listings, and one of these job listings being from Azobo Studios, who make Flight Simulator and A Plague Tale. And there's been rumors now that Microsoft's been wanting more open world games for a long time now, and them going back to Azobo to work on another open world game. Because look, you don't get more open world than all of Earth in Flight Simulator 2020. So it's like, and plus that game, it paid off well. People love that game.
That game has a huge download.
Yeah, and like it's a big game, and so they clearly know what they're doing, and it's exciting because Microsoft clearly want to work with the studio again. And people want more open world games on Xbox because, for the most part, Microsoft hasn't had a lot of, first party big open world, games. So this is going to be fresh for them because, again, we've had things like, more linear titles, and for them to work
Jamie,
with yeah.
But you know what people really want also? Since Xbox is the multiplayer console that I love, Microsoft should make more open world multiplayer games. I know single player is kind of big, but multiplayers make games a little less boring.
I mean, personally, like I stepped away from multiplayer years ago. I felt like this generation multiplayer, it's nowhere near like it was last gen. For me, the last time multiplayer was exciting was Black Ops, Battlefield 3.
Well, I'm not talking about first person shooters though. I'm referring to like a Borderlands style, but open world where you guys go everywhere, you explore things together, as a group. You can do it by yourself still, but it's more satisfying when you're friends and you go on quests, missions,
Yeah, I mean, it's not something like Microsoft. I don't think they're opposed to doing. Like they have co-op available in a lot of their games. I mean, hell, their new expansion for Gears has co-op, so it's like it's not out of the realm of possibility that we could see, some form of co-op in a new open world game. And it's like if you go back to Fable 2 on the Xbox 360, that had co-op. So
I remember.
So yeah, they could do that. And the thing is, as long as it's an optional thing, I don't think people would have a big problem with it. But I think a big thing with the whole open world game rumor is that Microsoft, when they came out with Game Pass, a lot of people had this assumption that everyone was going to be we're going to be getting like 1,000 multiplayer games every month, and they're not going to work on single player games. But the truth is that it's these big single player games I'm noticing a lot more people playing. Because if they put these huge RPGs or huge open world games in Game Pass, more people are staying engaged in Game Pass in that time. So, like, if I look at my friends list now, like, there's more people playing those games that would normally be playing something like a Call of Duty or something. Now they're playing things like, an RPG, which is different and new for them. But it's clear that Microsoft see that, they should put more big games in Game Pass.
Well,
so
yeah, real quick, and again, my apologies, guys. My internet service, like there was somebody trying to say I had an appointment for a technician to come in. I'm like, my internet service is fine. So now I'm kind of scared that all of a sudden I'm gonna have an internet issue. But what you guys were saying about like Game Pass and stuff, I think. People jump the gun and they try to say, oh, this is just a way to put games as a service out there for everybody and, get everybody hooked that they have to play their game as a service all the time. I'm with Jamie. I'm in Jamie's boat. And the way I explain it is they need variety. They need a bunch of different types of games. The smaller kind of like indie titles, arcadey titles, to the bigger single player experiences. Yeah, to the games as a service as well, and the multiplayer experiences as well. And I think what Game Pass does with all these things, and in terms of variety, going to like a bigger single player game, when you add like content afterwards, like a DLC or something like that, you add it into Game Pass, and it keeps the subscribers invested in Game Pass, even moving forward past that big blockbuster single player story experience, and you know they keep Game Pass to go into that DLC and everything like that. So, you know, for people that say Game Pass is just an excuse to do all games as a service and to be all multiplayer focused, it's not necessarily like that. You need a variety to grab the variety of gamers out there to invest in that subscription. You know what I'm saying?
In other words, they can do, like you're saying, they should do everything. Like the
Yeah.
kind of game that I would love, like the open world co-op, the single player open world game. You know, you can have your little fun games in there. Kids like those little things like that. Like my son, he for some reason he likes those little old style games that he plays with his friends online. You know, the ones like you go at it all the time in the one square or something like that. You know, you just need a variety, and they're actually starting to give it to us, and I love it. I love the variety we have now. I mean, people can't say that we don't have a variety of games with Game Pass. They can't say it.
Nice. Now, Jamie, you said it was a Sobo. That's
Yeah.
and are there any details about this game at all, or is it just open
I mean,
world?
it was just listed as open world.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people, the question is going to be is when is Microsoft going to buy a Sobo for and bring them into first party? Jamie, do you have that question as well? Do you think that might be something down the road?
Yeah, I mean, I have like a handful of studios I want Microsoft to pick up, and Azobo is one of them. The problem with Azobo is that they have a contract with Focus Home Interactive, and I think it's to make one or two more games that are multi-platform. Now, they could still do that while working for like Microsoft, but we've just seen how many. The thing is, the second Microsoft picks up a studio now and a game goes to another platform because they had a previous arrangement, while most people would think, well, obviously it would still go to that platform, we still have people arguing about, you know, oh, it's not an exclusive, blah, blah, blah. So that would be the only negative out of it. But personally, like, you know, with the work they did on a Plague Tale, a Plague Tale 2 is apparently in development as well. So Azobo is very busy. And, you know, I think Microsoft should pick them up. I mean, hell, like Flight Simulator 2020 is regarded as the best flight sim ever made. And I know it's very niche, but think about it like this. The barrier to entry on PC, you need like a very good graphics card. Like I have a 1660 and like 30 gigs of RAM. I can't play this on my PC. Nowhere. You need a beast. And the barrier to entry is so high, yet they still have 2 million players. That's impressive. Like, and it just goes to show like there is a want for that type of game. And hey, it's out there now. But yeah, I think Microsoft should work with them again and maybe pick them up.
Nice. And I heard like you and Sir X-Man, and again, I do apologize, man. But when I saw that was a regular number and it was a number that I didn't know, I knew I had to pick it up because it could be something important. I'm in the middle of like so many transitional things in terms of switching bills in my name and stuff like that. I knew I had to pick that up. So I do apologize to the chat. I apologize to the panel guys. My bad about that. But it was definitely necessary. But I heard you and Sir X-Man going back and forth on that. I actually want to bring this. I want to bring this to another topic, if you guys don't mind. And I'm over here switching the visuals as I go into this because Gears came out with some new DLC. The story DLC, Hive Busters, has released this past week, and I've seen a lot of people on Twitter talking about it. I've also had a chance to go in and try it out, and I even snagged some very, very bad gameplay for the people in the chat to check out. Yes, I am not great at aiming in Gears. The aiming to me feels very swingy. And I would like a cursor. If Coalition, if you guys are listening to me, I would like a cursor when I'm in cover. Just a little cursor to let me know that when I pop out of cover, I'm going to be looking in that direction. My gun's going to be pointed that way. All right, if you give me that, guys, I will be incredibly happy. Until then, I'm always, when I pop out a cover, I'm always aiming to the right of the enemy or to the left of the enemy. And very rarely am I right on the enemy popping out of cover. That's just one of my things. I know it's just
So you
me.
could always get the Razer keyboard and mouse and play it with gears, you know.
I don't do keyboard and mouse, man. I am
Me neither.
all controller, brother. But yo, the new DLC, man. I played through the first couple levels, and I gotta say, I am really impressed. Now, I am playing on what I call the Xbox Series V. All right, and for people who don't know, that is the Xbox One, what people would call the VCR edition, the big black kind of like launch edition before they trimmed it down with the S, and then they added one X and stuff like that. So I'm playing on the traditional big boy, and even on this system, graphically, this DLC looks absolutely incredible. Yo, your first mission, they drop you into a jungle, and Gears is very linear. Like there's a path for you to follow. You don't veer off too much. It does open up in places, especially like combat areas and stuff like that, but it is very linear. The denseness of the jungle and the way it looks, and then when it comes to the story, kind of like the slow, kind of like drama intensifying and stuff. I gotta say, I'm really digging this DLC. Sir X-Men, have you tried Hive Busters yet? Sir X-Men?
Not yet, but I was gonna give it a try, while I'm on vacation.
All right. Well, hopefully, if you're watching the show as you're on here as well, you can see some of the fairly raw, fairly bad gameplay. Yes, I will say, I'm not an ace in every single game I play. Anybody who claims
You're a
that,
Destiny's child, dude. So it is what it is.
I appreciate that, brother. Jamie, what about you, man? Have you gotten in and tried this DLC yet?
Yeah, man, I love it. The thing about me is that when I play an expansion for something, I want it to be not just like an expansion of like the story. I want it to be something different. So like if you go back to like, on the 360 with GTA, The Lost and the Damned and The Ballad of Gay Tony, like those two expansions offer stuff that's way different than, the regular game. And that's what you get with this. It's very different to the Gears 5 campaign. And I love it. Like, the new characters are interesting. Well, they kind of new, but yeah, I mean, the new tropical setting just suits Gears. It's gorgeous. There's like volcanoes in the background and stuff. It gets wild with some of the set pieces.
Oh yeah,
the set pieces in this game that are better than Gears 5, and this is an expansion, and it's just gorgeous. And the thing is, graphically, it looks better than Gears 5, which is mind blowing because I'm playing this on the Series X, and it's like, even I think it was VG 24/7 or something, and they put out saying like it's the best looking next gen game, and it came out of nowhere. It's like Microsoft could have used this game, or I should say expansion, to advertise the Series X, but they didn't, and it just come out in December, and it's fantastic. And it just offers things like Gears 5 doesn't. And I'm not saying this is bad for Gears 5. I'm just saying it's fresh. It's a new type of experience, and it kind of feels like, even though it's new, it feels like an older Gears game because it's more linear. And I don't know, it's just so good, man. Like, that you can, your characters have these abilities now, which you can upgrade over time, and the upgrade mechanic's very simple, easy to learn. You just pick up these yellow thingamadoodles. And it's just good, man. It's just good, and I like it. The story, the new characters, the setting. It's all good. It's all good. And plus, Gears gameplay is solid. I've always loved Gears for its gameplay, and I mean, if we continue to get more Gears expansions like this that are different, with like offer different settings with new characters, I'd welcome it, because like I've said before, I don't play multiplayer for Gears. Never have. I play Gears for the story, and I love this, man.
Nice.
I wish they would do that with Halo, man. Add like an expansion to the story.
They kind of did that in Halo 4 with Spartan Ops.
Well, I'm talking about 5. I mean, 5 looks good, but having an expansion story for that, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
That would have been a good idea. But unfortunately now both fortunately and unfortunately, let's be real.
Everything's focused on the next one.
Yeah, everything now is focused on Infinite, and I think that's where you're going to get the stories kind of expand as well. I think Halo Infinite is going to be kind of like the tree trunk to the story moving forward, and they're just going to keep adding on to that over time, which I am actually a fan of. I like that premise. I like that idea. I like the supporting the multiplayer and the single player moving forward, and that's what I think 343 is going to do. Now, here's something about this expansion, though. Guys, did you know that the Coalition was not going to make this at all? What they were going to do is they were going to completely focus on the multiplayer aspect and add content into the multiplayer. Now, with this expansion, you did get 5 multiplayer maps as well. So they did add multiplayer content with the Hivebuster expansion, but there wasn't going to be any story. There wasn't going to be any story DLC. But what happened was Coalition saw what the community was talking about when it came to Gears 5 and what they wanted. And when they saw that they wanted more story, that's when they came up with this expansion, this story to put into the expansion. Jamie, I got to ask you, man, what do you think about this? Like, I love the fact that they were listening to the fan base, and when it came down to it, they did exactly what the fan base wanted, even though they weren't planning on it. They were planning on just going straight with more multiplayer content and doing it that way. Dude, what do you think about their decision here, and what does it mean for the Coalition as a studio? Like, what kind of studio they are, bro?
I mean, look, I've been into Gears since the first one, and I noticed when Gears 5 came out, I noticed a lot of people online were saying they wanted single player DLC. So it just goes to show that they are paying attention to what people in the community are saying. And here's the thing: I've always said that if people want something, they should mention it. They should mention it on Twitter. They don't have to hound developers. Like, and everyone I saw that mentioned single player DLC, they weren't atting developers. They weren't bothering people. And I think that's the right way to go about things. And it just goes to show that the Coalition are actually paying attention to the community. And for the Coalition in general, like this could lead to like more exciting possibilities, because like, let's look at me, for instance, right? I do not play Gears multiplayer. So whenever they come out with a new map or a new bunch of maps or stuff, like, I'm just sitting there going, great, I've got to download this crap I'm not going to play, right? But if they keep putting out single player expansions, there's people like me going back to the game, because it's like, I had no other reason to go back to it unless I want to play the occasional game of Horde. But outside of that, I'm just like, I'll wait till the next one. But it's like, I've noticed so many people in my feed are posting Gears footage and Gears screenshots that never normally post Gears stuff. And that's because they play single player stuff. And people love Hivebusters. Like literally, I'm seeing way more engagement with Hivebusters than any multiplayer crap. And I think if it's as popular as I'm seeing it in my feeds, like, they should continue with this, because the problem is with these big AAA third-person shooters like this is that we have to wait a few years in between. But if they can supplement that time in between with single-player expansions, I think that would make a lot of people happy. That would make me happy. Mm-hmm. And, I think that's the right way to go about it, because, yes, they do have the multiplayer crowd they have to, deliver to as well. But they also have to deliver to, like, people like me. They want people like me to come back and play the game. It's like, I bought the DLC even though it's in Game Pass, like, because I wanted to support it. Even though, like, they want people to play it via Game Pass Ultimate, it's my type of thing. Like, I was like, right, I like this, I like the idea of it, I'm going to give them my money. And hey, I love it, man. They should do more of it. I think they will if enough people play it. And Microsoft's all about engagement, so people play Hivebusters. Like, literally, if you've got Game Pass Ultimate, fire it up, play it. It's only like a few hours long. But the fact is that we're getting this. This is like such a weird move for Microsoft, because people like always say Microsoft's all about multiplayer and microtransactions and stuff, and then they drop this single player expansion, which you don't even have to pay for if you have Game Pass Ultimate. So yeah, like, they need to keep doing this.
Dude, I love the fact that there's a lot of things that you said in there, like how it feels like an older Gears game. There's a lot of it's darker than kind of like the Gears 5 main story. There's elements that definitely bring you back towards the original kind of like Gears trilogy because nobody counts Judgment. Let's just be real on that. Uh, but there's a certain
Judgment's horde mode was good though. The horde mode in Judgment was really good
see,
though.
and that's what I love about Sir X Man. He can pull a positive out of anything. Now, the majority of the Gears community will be like, you know what, Judgment did not exist, and there's where Sir X Man is like, but the horde mode was really good. That's what I appreciate about you, Sir X Man. You can like pull a positive out of like any game scenario, man. That is an awesome talent, bro. But
I try.
but and how this game escalates in terms of how this DLC escalates. It's absolutely insane so far. But
And it's free
and yeah, well, yeah,
with Game Pass.
yeah, well,
Mhm.
I can't. I see. I don't say free with Game Pass because you pay a subscription, but it's
Yeah,
in Game Pass.
but you pay for, like I said, you pay for Netflix, you pay other prescriptions. You get to the point where you don't even notice it anymore.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
don't.
No, yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're happy for even people who forget and they just keep paying their subscription. They have no problem because Netflix has no problem doing that like with those people either. But I gotta say well, first off, Sir X Man, what do you think about what I said about the Coalition? They weren't even gonna do single player, but they saw the fan base, they saw the community and what the community wanted. They were going to go strictly multiplayer, add multiplayer content, and then they saw what the Gears community was saying, and they put this together, and I think they did a great job so far. I did not beat this yet, but they did a good job like putting this together. What does this say about the Coalition, man? Like in terms of them as developers and what they care about in terms of making a game and making it for their fan base, bro.
Well, I'm glad they did it. It's a really good thing. I mean, you bring people back into the environment. You bring people back into Gears. And hopefully, I don't know yet. Hopefully you got new characters for your multiplayer that you can bring in. I mean, all that makes a big difference for a Gears person that has faded off for a minute, but it gives them a reason to come back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's a big important thing in a multiplayer game and a single player story based game.
And
That's
again,
it.
go ahead.
No, I was done.
All right, because again, and I know I feel like a broken record when I talk about Game Pass on this, but I think with Xbox focusing so much on Game Pass and trying to make that subscription service better and better, it leads to stuff like this. It leads to the developers underneath Xbox's umbrella to listen more to the fan base and try different things to get people more engaged. I am one of those Gears gamers like Jamie is. I like the story. I go in and play the story. I'm not really big on the multiplayer. Shout out to my brother Crispy Bomb, who's like, man, I told you I'll come in and play multiplayer with you and all that. And I will go in and play at some point in time with him, but I'm just not really big into.
I
The
had
multiplayer.
fun playing with Crispy. He showed me the ropes, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, he showed me some of the new stuff. It's pretty fun when you play with him and you got a good squad with you. You just need a good squad, just like you need a good squad in Destiny, man. It's the same thing.
That's true. Any multiplayer game where you're dealing with teams and stuff like that, yeah, a good squad is definitely is definitely important. With Destiny, I know a lot about that in terms of working off each other's kind of like your power class and all that good stuff, and trying to really get the most in terms of damage on your enemies and all that. So yeah, I definitely know the importance of having a good squad. And shout out to my raid team, by the way, who do their best to get me through each and every raid in Destiny 2. But I really think this says a lot about how Game Pass, how a subscription service like this can open up the developers to really listen to the community more instead of doing your traditional, oh, this is what's going to make money, this is what's going to keep people playing. Listen to the community more and expand and do things that you might not have done before Game Pass. Do you guys hear what I'm saying? Do you guys agree with me on this, or?
I think Game Pass keeps the community together a lot more, because if you want to play a game and your friend doesn't have it, but he has Game Pass, you can say, we haven't played in a while. Let's go play this game together. It actually does work. I've done it many times with other people. They download it. We go play a game together. It's like it used to be in the old days with Game Pass. I know I'm stretching this out, but your friends used to play together in the same game for a long period of time. And a lot of times the new way is a lot of games have been separating your friends playing different games because nobody could have it. Nobody wanted to buy the game or give it a try, so everybody kept in their own games. But with Game Pass, you and your friends can get together in the game, and if you don't have it, he doesn't have to get it. He just downloads it, and you play together. It keeps people together, man. I like that.
Nice, brother. And Jamie, what do you think? Do you think I'm making sense with this whole thing? How Game Pass has like expanded the first party studios for Xbox to actually really listen to the community instead of doing the traditional, this is what's going to make money, this is what's going to keep it active, and really kind of like opening them up to try different things, stuff that they didn't plan, because the community is kind of like asking for it.
Oh yeah, because think about it like this: if Game Pass like wasn't really a thing, would we have gotten Hive Busters, a single player DLC with none of the multiplayer stuff? No, we wouldn't have. And the thing is, if you've noticed, Microsoft over the past year and a half, they paying a lot of attention to what the community says. And with Game Pass, and the thing is, when they talk about new games, they always say get this game in Game Pass. They don't say go out to the shops and buy it. So they themselves are putting their belief in Game Pass, and it has really opened up Xbox up to more genres, new experimental things. Again, the stuff in Hive Busters that you don't see in the main game, and it's like we would not have gotten this experience if it wasn't for Game Pass. And yeah, you're right. And the thing is, Game Pass is that it offers more people ways into getting these games, because how many people in my friends list would who I'm friends with in real life would pay for Gears Hive Busters? Not a lot of them, but the amount of them that can play games or I should say expansions Gears Hive Busters are going to play it now, and some of my friends are playing it now because it's in Game Pass Ultimate. So it just goes to show that it's just providing more opportunities for people to jump into games and more engagement with the community.
Nice, man. And I just man, I just really have nothing bad to say about Game Pass. Every time I turn around, some first party studio for Xbox or something Xbox is doing, grabbing a third party title or a bunch of third party titles and putting it into Game Pass, man, it is absolutely incredible. And I know with kind of my life situation right now and not knowing exactly what my budget is or anything like that, having Game Pass there and knowing that I'm subscribed to Ultimate Game Pass, $15 a month, and I have access to all these games, new DLC content, stuff like that. It's an awesome thing for a gamer. Yo, what's up?
You just made me think about something too. With the subscription to Game Pass, you know what it does? It gives you the ability to have money to buy some of the other games that aren't in Game Pass.
Brother.
Because of that subscription, you're saving so much money every year. So you got money to buy, your Call of Duties and your other things, and you don't have to buy your Destiny expansion packs either for you. So that saves you money.
Yeah.
So you can buy some of the big boys like golf that we like and other games. That's what Game Pass does also.
Yeah, nice, bro. And that is one of the things shout out to Mr. Tushy out there in Twitter. I don't know if he's in the chat or whatnot, but shout out to him for his Saturday game night. And I downloaded an hour trial of a game called Wreckfest, and I played with them last night. And I believe it's like for the core game, it's like $20 or so. And that is an example right there where Game Pass has pretty much the majority of my gaming library. Kind of like, I got a bunch of games to play. Where looking at Wreckfest for $20, like I didn't pick it up. I can't do that right now, but it definitely frees up the chance to be able to buy a game like that and to be able to go in with, people that I started playing that game with and kind of like creating new gaming memories with the community and stuff like that. So I absolutely love Game Pass. I have been talking about Game Pass from the very beginning, trying to let people know how huge it was going to be, and it's good to see that the community has caught up with it as well. Even people who hate on Xbox really can't complain about Game Pass. Like it's a great deal. Like that's it, and then they kind of move on to bash something else about it. But all right, I'm looking at what we have here, and guys, we do have something, a topic that does have Cyberpunk in it, but it's not what you think, guys. All right, and it's something I think it's important to talk about in terms of its ramification when it comes to the Xbox community. And this topic is possibly a Pandora's box for stuff to happen in the future and for people to take advantage of Xbox trying to be as pro-consumer as they can be. So I want to get into this topic real quick. Again, it has Cyberpunk in it, but it's not necessarily your typical Cyberpunk news that everybody has been talking about lately. So you all know what's going on with Cyberpunk, and people are talking about this and that in terms of its performance and bugs and glitches and stuff. So Xbox has decided that they are going to lift the parameters of their refund policy when it comes to Cyberpunk 2077. So usually, I think you would have to have in-game, Jamie, correct me if I'm wrong. Is it less than 24 hours or less than 48 hours?
I think it's 24 hours now.
All right, less than 24 hours, or if you have had the game a certain amount of time. I believe it's like 2 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Okay, so
no, if I remember, because I've had to trade a game in before. It was honestly, I'm being real. It was a 2-hour limit. They checked, and it was 2 weeks. So if you played the game for 2 hours, over 2 hours within 2 weeks, they would not acknowledge the return.
Well, thank you.
Yes, that was it. Yeah.
All right, so 2 hours and 2 weeks were the parameters. Now they lifted that for Cyberpunk 2077. So that means that there is no limit on how much of this game people have played or how long they have had it, and they can still get a refund for this. Now, I feel like this is Pandora's box right here. Now, granted, there's a lot of drama around Cyberpunk 2077. Some of it warranted, some of it not warranted. Some of it is being really picky about things. Some of it is substantial kind of like complaints or whatnot. But I don't know. I think it's concerning that they would just lift those parameters off when it comes to this game, because then I feel like people are going to take advantage of this. No, so hold on, Sir X-Man. They're taking off that 2-hour, 2-week limit when it comes to refunds, or they took it off when it comes to refunds.
Just for Cyberpunk, right?
For Cyberpunk 2077. That is it. The only
I've
game.
seen it happen before. I've
With
seen
what?
that happen before.
With what game?
The PC version of the Batman game.
Was it
because
on
it was
Steam?
so buggy. Huh?
On Steam?
Yeah, it was so buggy. They just gave everybody a refund no matter how many hours you played, no matter how long you've had it. They've done it on console before for other games also.
I have
So
never
it does
seen
happen,
them
but it has to be extremely, extremely bad for them to do that. This was one of those situations. So I don't think they're gonna keep that program revolving on multiple things right now, dude. I just think this is just an exception to the rule.
So you're not concerned first off that people are going to take advantage of this in terms of the Xbox platform, and there's you don't have any concern that the next game coming down the line it might not be as broken, but like people will start stirring up kind of like a fake kind of like cry out there in terms of a game's performance to possibly try to get them to do something like this again. You have no concerns about any of that stuff?
No, because they'll know if it's a fake cry or a real cry, dude. They'll know because it would be published everywhere. It would be acknowledged everywhere. For right now, this one is a big foobarb. So they have to do something about it. But I don't think they can. Now I think they might start extending the time, for play. Because sometimes you don't see bugs for like 6-8 hours. You could be going smooth, and all of a sudden your system crashes because of the game.
See,
now I can see them extending the time, but not to that severe amount, dude. I don't see that.
I even think like stuff like that, like once you crack the door open on these things, and again, I'm pro gamer, I'm pro consumer, and all that good stuff, but I'm not sure about this, man. I am not sure if this is the right way to go. I'm not sure if, man, I'm not sure the long-term ramifications here. Now, granted, Sir X-Man, you gave a great point when it came to Batman on Steam. But I gotta say, I'm honestly concerned with what this could kind of like open up for the future on the Xbox platform. I do want to get Jamie in on this as well. So, Jamie, what do you think about this move here? Do you have any concerns, or are you rolling with Sir X-Man on this? And basically, why?
Okay, so this is going to be rant number 1.
Oh, everybody strap your seatbelts on. Here we go.
So this should be an exception and not the rule, because, like you said, this could open up Pandora's box. Because, look, I've seen plenty of times over the past few years that people will take a game, have a single glitch, whine on Twitter for attention, and then they'll try to get the money back. Last night, I saw people trying to get the money back and still keep the game. But that tweet went around last night. Yeah, and it's like people. Like the thing is, I don't like being scummy, right? I'm an honest person, right? And the thing is, I know for a fact that people will take advantage of this. People will play whole games and then try and get the money back. It's gonna happen if this becomes like an actual thing. It like the thing is, like, how many times have we seen people want to get away with something? It's like, look at when Jedi Fallen Order came out. There was a clip of someone falling through the map, right? That happens in a crap ton of games, to the point where, it might happen once and then never again. So should you whine about it on Twitter? No, but people do for attention. Why? Because people have attention. So, like, I've seen people try and get the money back in the day for that, for falling through the map for a clip that wasn't even theirs. I've seen people throw around the same, Gears 5 clips of a glitch and call it their own. And no, they just ripped it off YouTube and said it was their own, and they want the money back. People do this crap for attention, and like there's this thought that people are entitled to a game once they no longer own it, or when they get the money back. And I saw this back with Gears. I saw this back with Fallout 4, and this is my problem with the Cyberpunk thing. People are being overboard with this, right? I've seen games buggier out of the gate for a longer time than this. Like Fallout 4, buggy. Remember how buggy New Vegas was? That was borderline unplayable. Skyrim on another platform, which we won't say, was literally broken to the point where you couldn't save. There was a glitch in that game on that platform that if you put a wheel of cheese on a bookshelf, it would crash the game.
Really?
And yeah, and it's like people are just going overboard. It's like the problem with Cyberpunk, right? And it's a victim of its own success. It had this massive amount of hype. People were expecting to have this like Red Dead Redemption 2 level of crispness, and the thing is, like, the game comes out, it has some glitches, and it has almost the same glitches that The Witcher 3 had, yet The Witcher 3 is regarded as the best game of all time. but this game has so much hype on it that people can get clicks on it. If you search for glitch videos on YouTube for Cyberpunk, they've got tons of views because it's like the hype game at the moment. And the thing is, like, I've seen people on Twitter just say, okay, well, it's just the developers, like, they're going to get backlash for it. People wanting them to get sued. If you go on Reset Era, they have a thing about going after this game. They have done for months. And it's people want this to fail. And that's what bothers me. People want a success story to fail because this game had everything lined up for it. An interesting story, interesting universe made by one of the best developers in the world. Had so many fans hyped because we haven't had a game like this. And the game comes out and it's got glitches, and people are posting clips and other people's clips of these glitches and compilations of glitches and saying, oh, it's the worst game ever, when we've had worse glitches in more games over the past few years. Remember Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed Unity? That had more glitches than this. That had more glitches than this in the bloody prologue. Yet that didn't get taken off certain stores. Yet that didn't get a warning on other, like, you know, on the Xbox store. No, it didn't. The latest Avengers game, buggy, delete saves, no warning. Nobody gets the money back. Nobody gets a warning. It's just like Fallout 4, buggy mess. This has happened countless times this generation.
Fallout
but because
76 as well, man.
Yeah, Fallout 76, but because it's Cyberpunk and it's the hot thing to talk about right now, nope, nobody can. Nobody. And the thing is, the second you mention this, people are like, oh, you're defending the game, you're defending CD Projekt Red. I'm not defending them. I'm just pointing out that people are being asked that. Oh, I have to say this. People are being hypocrites because, like, I think people, if they want the money back for this, if they haven't went over the 2 hours mark, they should be able to get the money back. People are overreacting with this game.
All right, Jamie, I gotta ask you a question, man, because you're obviously passionate about this, and you know you're definitely making a lot of sense here. I gotta ask you, because it is a slow time, all right, for gaming news, and you said Cyberpunk being one of the biggest names, and you know there's issues with it in terms of performance, bugs, glitches, stuff like that. How much of what's going down with the gaming news, right? How much of what's going down is actual concern and actual kind of like, you know, reporting on definitive negative issues with this game? And how much of it is, well, there's not too much to talk about, so let's beat this dead horse to a pulp and really put it out there, because this is something that, you know, with the name Cyberpunk, people are gonna click on this article, people are gonna watch this video. You know what I'm saying? How much of it is actual genuine concern, and how much of it is just to keep clicks and revenue up when it comes to like gaming news and kind of like bigger YouTubers, stuff like that?
Okay, this next is after Jamie.
This is where the rant really continues, because this is what grinds my gears, right? I am annoyed because people are doing this for clicks. It's so blatantly obvious. For months now, we've had, and for a year and a half, 2 years, we've had new consoles to talk about because we've had chips leak and details leak and specs and blah, 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 blah. We've had all this hardware talk. The second these new consoles come out, what was the news? Cyberpunk. And then the game's coming out, people like, we haven't seen console footage yet, which was a valid criticism, but people are balls deep in this, and it really angers me because, like, people didn't go after other games like this year. We've had buggier messes this year that didn't get, like, you know, the same treatment. And it's just so annoying. It's so obvious for clicks. We have, you know, bloggers that are like constantly going at these game and at the developers, and it's like, it's so obvious. December is the biggest month for ad revenue, and it's all Cyberpunk hate. Yet none of these arsehots went after other developers, went after other games when they were glitching. No, they got passes. And that's what really annoys me. It's so blatantly obvious for clicks. Like, I could go to the gaming tab on YouTube right now, and it's literally all Cyberpunk, because it's, and the thing is, this is what really annoys me. There's people that have had genuine good experiences about Cyberpunk, and then the second it got into the, you know, the general public and people experienced a few glitches, that's all they can talk about now. That's all they talk about, is posting glitches, talking about glitches, when we've had other games that have been buggier for longer, and nobody made a big deal about it back then. Nobody made a big deal. Remember The Witcher 3? The Witcher 3 which is an even bigger game. You'd fall through the map all the time. You couldn't open some doors. Some quests were broken. There's a quest in the Heart of Stone expansion that's still broken, yet people didn't make a big deal about it. Yet people are just doing it because of Cyberpunk. Because guess what? The second these new consoles came out, the second we had, hardware out of the gate, what did every news outlet go to? Cyberpunk. We had the consoles out. They talked about which game had like the best looks, which game had the best resolution, but that died down very quick. The next gen hype is here now. We have the consoles. So what are they going to talk about? What gets more clicks? Negativity or positivity, or even better, outrage. Outrage. People are talking about, suing CD Projekt Red over this, and it's like it's blatantly obvious, and it makes me cringe because I can see everyone's posting, people are posting, going, "Oh, look at this glitch," and like I've seen people save other people's like images and tag Xbox Share or whatever other platform you're on, and it's like they blatantly didn't take that. It's like they post that glitch because they want attention. That's what really annoys me. People being way too overboard with this game. People didn't act like this with Fallout. People didn't act like this with Fallout 76. People didn't act like this with The Outer Worlds. Had a few glitches at launch, but it wasn't like this. But it's like people didn't do this with The Witcher 3. People didn't do this with GTA 3. GTA 5 had more bugs at launch. Red Dead Redemption Online was a complete colossal mess.
GTA Online did not, on its launch day when GTA Online launched, it didn't even work. It didn't. Yeah. I think it was something like maybe 20% of the people that tried to get in on GTA Online when it released, 20% were able to get through the first mission, and the other 80% couldn't. They got stuck. There was a glitch. You could not move forward, and it took them. It took them at least a week to fix that. To get people to move forward in GTA Online. Look at GTA Online now, man. Everybody, their brother, their grandmother, their grandmother's cat, their grandmother's dog, all play GTA Online or have GTA 5. So I mean, you definitely make a lot of sense. I will say there are some issues with the game that definitely needed to be addressed. And one of the things I couldn't stand is people were like, well, the next gen version of this game, the Series X version and PS5 version are working fine. No, guys, there is no Series X version or PS5 version of this game right now. There's not even, it doesn't have like the enhancements or anything like that. It's literally the raw power of more powerful hardware, making this game run better. It is initially an Xbox One and PS4 title. It's a last gen title, guys. They didn't come out with the next gen or this gen version of this game yet, but I do want to go to Sir X-Man. Sir X-Man, so what do you think, man? How much of what's going on here is genuine concern and kind of like viable complaints when it comes to Cyberpunk, and how much of it is because end of December going into January, it's really a slow kind of like...
I think it's a little more than that. I agree with both of y'all, exactly what y'all saying. Okay. But there's another aspect to this. Since the end of the 360, or the middle of it... Get
closer to your mic again, bro. You start drifting away.
Oh, I apologize. No, since the end of the 360, and in that generation, people were used to glitches, people were used to updates, but in the past generation, we've had, and I've been trying to preach to people, we've had more glitches and update fixes for our games than we've ever seen. But with that comes better graphics, better gameplay, better frame rates, and all that. So you're going to expect to have some of that, then they send patches. But I think with Cyberpunk being in production for so long, and so many people dealing with glitches for so long, that it hit ahead with the game. Everybody was expecting perfection because that's how CD Projekt Red put it out. Okay. They weren't ready for this. And I can see their point, but I think it just hit a boiling point with this game. I really do. And there's, like you said, there's really nothing else really happening after the new consoles came out. But this is probably the boiling point for people just getting tired of glitches in their games.
You
You
know,
know, that's how I feel.
yo, Sir X-Man, man, dude, I am so happy that you're like, you know what? Send me a link to the meet. I want to come in and talk with you guys because, dude, you are definitely making a lot of sense with that. I think at the end of the day, I don't think any one of us are wrong. I think what happens is if you take the three people on this panel tonight on this show and you put everything that was said all together, there is your source. Everything that has been said across the board on this panel, this is the reason why you have just been hearing cyberpunk day after day, minute after minute, YouTube video after YouTube video, article after article. I think it's all of this kind of like put together. And you know, Sir X-Man, I got to give you props. Yes, CD Projekt Red, they promoted this game like the next best thing since sliced bread, you know, and how revolutionary it is. And you know, I think over time, I think people are going to realize how revolutionary this game actually is in terms of it being an RPG and in terms of you going out there and living your mercenary life in Night City and all that good stuff. I think people are going to look back and, you know, when it comes to this title, I really feel like CD Projekt Red is gonna, you know, work hard at it, get it, you know, running to the way.
Not just CD Projekt Red, but I think this is going to make other developers really focus in on not having these mistakes anymore. Because this one took it to a whole new level, dude. It really did. And I know that, you know, they're probably not going to realize that people are tired of these glitches and want you to make these games better. You know, or we keep our money in our pocket.
Well, see, that's something we haven't really seen from the gaming community. You know, yeah, I can point to Call of Duty year after year. People, you know,
That's Call of Duty. That's a phenom. I leave that one alone.
You know, but there are certain things where people will voice their complaints, especially now. In the you know, we're deep into the social media age. Everybody will complain on social media. But at the end of the day, they're throwing their $60 down for that title that they just spent like 3 days on Twitter complaining about as well. So, you know, I mean, it's a toss up there, yo. Shout out to Shizno, who says, you know, the game is still revolutionary as it is now. And brother, I see it that way as well. Unfortunately, not everybody kind of like sees it that way right now, but I definitely see. Shout out to RG Viper X for hooking me up with the game as well, man. Yo, awesome guy. And he hooked me up with Cyberpunk, so I've been able to get in and play it. And I've been playing it again on the Xbox One VCR, and even on the VCR, I probably get more kind of like texture pop in and stuff like that while driving around the city. But yo, the game looks absolutely gorgeous, man. Especially when you hit nighttime with all the neon lights and all. I can just imagine with the HDR, like what this game would look like on the TV I got. So, you know, I do think it's revolutionary, but you know, with a lot of like revolutionary things, it could take time for the community to catch up to that and to really understand what this game really brought to the table in terms of the RPGs. And until then, I think we can all be fairly confident that CD Projekt Red will continue to work on it to iron out all the little glitches and bugs and stuff like that are in the game and really put it out there and get it to perform to people's expectations. But yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta say about that. I know we started on the whole, you know, Xbox opening up their refund policy, but I think it was a good conversation. It was something that needed to be talked about instead of people just constantly slamming the game down. You know, when it comes down to it, there's a lot of bright spots in this game. I see a lot of people having fun with this game. If you are having fun with this game, share it out there. Let people know. Yo, share your screenshots, share your videos. Let people know what you are thinking about this, because it's good to see the positive, because the negative, like Jamie said, like it gets that spotlight on it all the time. And it's good to see the positive out there as well. But we got to switch topics, guys. All right. And we got to talk about Halo. And it's not what you think. We're not going in on Halo Infinite. I don't have some type of secret documentation that'll let you guys know exactly what Halo Infinite is doing and stuff like that in terms of the story. But it's kind of like a look back at the 360 era, because Xbox announced this past week that all the Halo games for the 360, all their online services are being shut down as of December 2021. So that's right, guys. A year from now, you will not be able to play any of the 360 Halos on the 360 online. So no online multiplayer, no online co-op, stuff like that. So basically, they are shutting down the Halos for the 360. And I'm gonna ask the panel what they think about this. And as usual, guys, in the chat, if you have any thoughts on this and stuff, definitely put it in the chat. I'm reading the chat as I'm talking. Not only that, if you have a question, you have something that definitely you want to have, kind of like read aloud live on this show, you can always hit up that super chat. Just like, oh my goodness, look at the timing, yo. As soon as I said super chat, shout out to, oh man, anybody want to try to say that name? Agarados Henosis. Now, if I murdered that name, I do apologize, Agarados. He says, season's greetings. Great show and chat, dudes. Yo, brother, thank you so much for hitting up that super chat and supporting the show. And right back at you, brother. But, yeah, like I said, if you want something to be read aloud, you have a question that you absolutely want answered, you can definitely hit up that super chat. But in terms of Halo on the 360, in terms of online, before we go into what we think about them shutting it down and the timing of them shutting it down and stuff, I want to go across the panel and I want to hear, if you guys have some memories when it comes to online Halo with the 360, anything that pops into your mind when you were playing online 360 in Halo. I'll actually go first to kind of give you guys a minute or two to really think of something. My biggest thing with Halo on the 360 was Halo 4. And it wasn't the online multiplayer, because we all know the online multiplayer, they really tried to go more Call of Duty when it came to Halo 4's multiplayer. What I'm talking about is Spartan Ops. And the reason why I'm sharing this memory, I remember every single week when a new episode of Spartan Ops came out, my friends list on the 360 was buzzing. There were groups of people, just grouped up, going into the new Spartan Ops and trying to see where that story was going next. All right? The first couple episodes, they were more like horde mode-esque type episodes, but once you got past like episode 2 going into episode 3, it really got story focused and really started telling a story that had a climax that surprised a lot of people. And again, so many people on my friends list were grouping up. I was looking to pull people in that didn't necessarily already join a group, and we would go in and play Spartan Ops, and every single new episode get the new part of that story, that information. It was so much fun, and it was something new, something that you really didn't experience on the 360. They brought something new to the table with Spartan Ops, doing this whole kind of episodic thing within Halo that told a Halo story, and it was absolutely incredible. Jamie, give us a memory or two when it comes to Halo 360 and online, bro.
Oof, where to start? Well, Spartan Ops, I love that. Going through that, the other Halo games in co-op with a friend of mine, it was some of the best co-op I've ever had. Halo Wars back in the day, that was surprisingly good. Although Halo Wars is staying up, the multiplayer. Halo Reach, I was in the alpha for that.
Nice.
and like people went hard in that. I loved the fact that they added these power ups and stuff. Like it was just, and like the map design in the beta was just like really good. Halo Reach's launch. I remember like the multiplayer counter on that saying like 2+ million concurrently or something like that, which was huge. And it was just a good time because like it offered something fresh. And the Forge mods, I had a lot of fun with. And in Halo 3, like there was a playlist called Action Sack. And someone had made a version of Dodgeball, but you used plasma grenades. And it was so much fun. Like, and that was rotating for about a week, but it never popped up since. And it's just really cool. Like, people are really creative with that stuff. There was race tracks, and then we got Rocket Hog, which is like rocket racing with the little not warthogs, but like the 4x4 things, mongoose. But it's like it was just a good time because like Halo just always seemed fresh. And like even with Halo 4, like Spartan Ops came out of nowhere, and that was literally something I've been talking about, this new single player thing being added, although it was co-op, but new story elements added over time. But yeah, it was a big generation for Halo because we got so many Halo games. ODST was such a cool game because like we didn't play as a Spartan, we played as an ODST, which was different. You could be stealthy, and it was like most of the game was set at night, and the game played out in different like chunks of timeline and stuff. It was just really cool. But like I honestly think and like as much as I love Halo now, it was just a fun time because I think multiplayer back then was just unrivaled. Like multiplayer this generation doesn't seem near as fun. I don't care how good the game is, whether it's Halo 5's multiplayer, which I absolutely loved. Like multiplayer last gen was just better in general, and Halo was part of that.
Nice, brother. Yo, Sir X-Man. And yo, by the
yes.
way, Jamie, I will say, as soon as you said Reach, I got chills going down my spine, man. When Reach released, and I picked it up day one, and I started playing that game, man. That was such a Halo experience, and it caught a lot of drama when it released. In terms of the story, in terms of the multiplayer, because let's be honest, the whole locking armor ability, that was OP. That was crazy OP in online multiplayer. But dude, such quality online experiences playing the team deathmatch and stuff like that in Halo Reach. Shout out to you, Jamie, for bringing that up. Sir X-Man, some of your memories going back with the 360, because Halo this time next year, Halo will be playable online with the Xbox 360, man. Can you give us a memory or two about Halo on the 360, bro?
You just made me think I better fire up my 360 and play some of them older Halos real quick. I still got my 360s, bro.
Dude, I still got my day one with the chrome disc tray. Like, I got it sitting right next to me right now.
Oh, well, we need to get down sometime on some old school Halo.
Oh, shoot.
For the 360 one day.
I'm down.
You're not scared, are you?
No,
all right, cool.
No, not at all.
One of my favorite memories was after Gears came out. I forget which Halo it was. They made their own Horde mode. I don't know which one. Was it 3 or 4?
Oh,
and I had so much
firefight, right?
Right, firefight. I had so much fun in that mode with Halo, more than I did with the Gears Horde. I just couldn't put it down, dude. I played with my friends all the time, man. And that was my fondest memory. Oh, and I have one thing I thought about when you brought this topic up. On the OG Xbox, when they were getting rid of the online, they shut the online off, but there were still people in the servers for 3 months on Halo 2 still playing it.
Oh, dude, I remember that. Oh my goodness, yo! And shout out to somebody in the chat. I don't remember the name. I'm kind of like looking and stuff like that. But somebody actually brought that up in the chat too. That was a.
I didn't even know. I'm not even looking at the chat.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, that was like when you look back,
amazing.
That was an iconic time, man, because they would not let those servers shut down. They stayed in there. How long did you say? 3 months, right?
About 3 months. I called my buddy. He had a 360 at the time, but he was a Halo 2 nut. And he's like, I'm not coming over until they absolutely shut these servers down. He never turned it. You had to keep your system on.
Mm-hmm.
You had to stay in Halo for the servers to still be going. He never played. Still my buddy to this day. You know, but they love Halo 2 back then, dude. It was the first real true shooter multiplayer for the Xbox. You know?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's going to happen this generation, because usually when they flip the switch, they flip the switch.
Everybody gets booted out and it's done. And I hope
it's done in this house.
Sir X-Man, you know what? I hope they do what they did with Halo 2. I hope that, you know, as long as people are playing in these Halos, that the servers will stay up, because I would love to see kind of like a Halo 2 reenactment with the Halos on the 360, bro.
Well, I think they're ready to get people off of there so they can come to the Master Chief Collection.
Oh yeah.
That's what I think is happening, because there's probably still too many people on the 360 playing it. I mean, they might have an Xbox One, but they are more comfortable over there playing their Halos.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why that's the only backwards, that's the only one that's getting shut down. And if you notice, it's not backwards compatible. None of those ones, except for, none of them are backwards compatible. You have to play them in the Master Chief Collection.
No, they are backwards compatible.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I think they are, but and
I could put Halo 3 disc in and play.
Yeah.
It's even 1X enhanced.
Really?
Oh, Sir X-Man, listen to you.
Oh, look at us! I'm gonna have to send you a disc unless you still got it, Xbox.
Oh, I got Halo 3. I got Halo 3 360 disc.
Oh snap!
I got that. I got Reach. I got ODST. Yeah, trust me, I got it unlocked, brother. I got it unlocked.
We need to drop that before the next year, before the end of it next year.
Yeah, we got some time, man. Yeah, and that's
the thing. We got some time.
That's the thing right there as well, man. I wanted to ask you guys, like, when it comes to them shutting this down, it's always a sad time to see something like this. It's something that, as we're moving forward in gaming, as the technology increases, you see, what they've done in terms of like digital content and stuff now, stuff that we feel is normal now, back in the, started in the 360 era as like fresh and new and stuff like that. So, Sir X-Man, what do you think about the timing here? Do you think the timing is good to shut down these services?
I'm just praying that they don't shut down a lot of the backwards compatible game servers, because you preach take your games with you and you can play them, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people go back to the older games for the multiplayers, and I like playing. Me and my friends, we play some of the old games. We play Unreal Tournament 3. We play, other various games. We play Street Fighter 4 on backwards compatibility. I mean, I hope they don't kill that, because that vibe that you built up with still having online ability for 360 games, it's big. It's bigger than it was on the OG Xbox. And if you take that away, I'm going to be honest, it's not going to be a happy thing in Xbox world. And I love my Xbox. So I hope they don't stretch it that far.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it, because like they specifically said in the article that it's to, so they can, put all effort into the 360 version. The Xbox One version of MCC. The thing about the other Halo, other multiplayer games last gen, that's unaffected. This is literally just 343 and whatever teams they're working with. So like you're still going to be able to fire up whatever multiplayer. Now, hell, there's still tens of thousands of people that still play Black Ops. The problem is with
I
Halo,
know, right? Oh, they would be pissed, Jamie.
yeah. The problem with Halo is it's like down to like less than 100 sometimes. So it's that plus like a lot of those like older COD games, they pay to pay and stuff. Like you can still play Call of Duty 2 online if you want. It's just it's a 343 Halo thing. I wouldn't worry about. And this is the thing: Microsoft championed backwards compatibility. The service is still up. Games are still going to be for sale.
Yep.
So I wouldn't worry about it. It's literally just Halo.
Yeah, that's the only scary thing I worry about, dude.
Okay, well, well, Sir X-Man, real quick, what do you think about the timing? First off, they're giving like a year's notice, and shout out to Shizno Elite because he said it's cool that they're giving this kind of notice, and I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
They're giving a year's
Because
notice.
last time they only gave you a month notice when they shut down all the servers. They only gave you a month notice when they shut down all the servers for the OG Xbox. So that's pretty good that they're giving you pretty much a year.
Yeah, and you know, moving into the future, like, do you think, you know, because now online games are definitely a thing, they're completely ingrained into the gaming community, console, PC, all that good stuff. Do you think like this is what we're gonna see moving forward? You know, you see a couple generations ahead, and then you know that box from 2 generations ago. There's gonna be certain games that they're just like, you know what, we're cutting those out, man. You think what do you think about the timing, the year's notice, and do you think that this is going to be normal?
If Microsoft is PC and PC is Microsoft, which I love, trust me, I love that factor. They'll do it like I'd say Steam. Steam keeps a lot of a variety of servers still open, and Microsoft and Steam are friends. So hopefully they'll keep it going in that style. Like over on the backwards compatibility side for our older games, just like the company that I mentioned does. So that would be a great thing, because a lot of people never experienced that are new now. They've never experienced 360 games, and they might want to check some of the older games out from the 360. So having that advantage, ooh, can I play this online with some people? Yes, and they'll be like, oh, that game was fun. How did I miss out on that?
Split second,
You know,
brother.
that would be something to ruin for somebody that wants to check it out, man. You know?
I got you, man. I got you.
I'm done.
Jamie, what do you think about the timing, the year's notice, and moving forward? Is this just going to become the normal? You know, you look 2 generations back, and there's going to be titles that they're kind of like shutting down on that old hardware when it comes to online play.
I mean, I really don't think it's like, you know, that cut and dry, because you have to think about it like this. We have Halo MCC. Like, there's an alternative, a better alternative. You know, it runs at 4K 60 HDR and all that stuff, and it's like the better version, so people are flocking to that. The thing is about other games, there's no alternatives. If you want to play Black Ops, you play Black Ops. If you want to play Gears 2, you play Gears 2. It's different with Halo. And you have to remember that, like, the thing is, Microsoft pushed backwards compatibility more than anyone else. And some 360 games still chart in the UK. Red Dead Redemption, the first one, charted #1 in the UK back when we first got backwards compatibility for it. Like,
oh, Black Ops was ridiculous, Jamie. I went after they announced Black Ops, right? GameStop price went up for that disc, and Amazon price went up for that disc. It beat Red Dead Redemption in backwards compatibility buy.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous, because at first you had to have the disc for Red Dead Redemption 1. They didn't drop it in the store until like a month later.
Yeah. The thing about like backwards compatibility on Xbox is that, like, there's tons of games that are still being played. Halo had minimal amount of players that were like, you know, they're obsessed with the old versions and they're unwilling to move. But the thing is that if you want to play Black Ops, if you want to play Red Dead Redemption, if you want to play Modern Warfare 3, if you want to play, I don't know, Battlefield
every
3,
Call of Duty.
Yeah, if you want to play any 360 multiplayer game that didn't get a remaster, and most remasters this generation don't even have multiplayer. Hell, I've been talking about Mass Effect recently. Mass Effect 3's multiplayer still has lobbies filled with people. There's no alternative. So like it's not going to become a thing. And the thing is, Microsoft's given people a year. Now, other platforms have kind of axed backwards compatible games sometimes, or sometimes, you know, newer games a year after the release. Like Microsoft is all about giving consumers time and, you know, letting them know about this stuff. And the thing
basically, like, not really shutting things off, like you said, in terms of, you know, within a year or anything like that. We've seen them like keep servers on going from, you know, the OG Xbox and moving forward for a really long time, man.
yeah, and like think about like
I'm
this,
sorry.
like Halo 3 came out in 2007, and they finally closing down the servers 14 years later. I think people should be okay with it, considering there's an alternative. There's no alternative to other games that are backwards compatible. Again, Gears 3. Where else can you play Gears 3? Only in Gears 3 backwards compatible mode. Like that's it. So it's like it's literally a non-worry. Like people should not worry about it because there's no reason for Microsoft to turn this stuff off. They have like over 500,000 servers, and literally I think they mentioned like 15,000 were for the Xbox 360's peak. And obviously they'll have less than that now, so it's nothing to worry about. It's going to be a non-issue for a long time because again, they still sell games that chart regularly. And the thing is, you know, when Red Dead Redemption became backwards compatible, do you know Red Dead Redemption actually showed up in their financials, 2K's financials, as one of the most profitable things?
Really?
Yeah,
Everybody
like
was
quarter.
looking for the disc because there was no download for it at the time.
And it became huge. Like my friends list was filled with people playing Red Dead Redemption when Black Ops was a huge backwards compatible game. Like when that
It was
became
bigger than life.
yeah, and like literally like my friends that, you know, play games regularly who don't really pay attention to the news. I got tons of texts going, "Hey, Black Ops now," you know. It's like you know, there's no alternative for other games. We have the Master Chief Collection, and that's perfectly fine to go through. Again, you know, and I don't know if we're going to be talking about like the other Halo stuff just yet, but like the complaints I've seen, but it's like people should be happy that there's an alternative. There's no alternative for stuff. I love Mass Effect 3 multiplayer. Guess what? It's not going to be in the remaster. And I've dealt with that. And guess what? I can still go back to Mass Effect 3, play the multiplayer, because there's still a healthy player base. You can't say that for Halo.
Hey, Jamie, question. Did you ever think, I just thought about this. They released the last and final Halo remake for the Master Chief Collection, right? And then about a month or 2 months later, after they released the final one, then they decided to announce this. I think they wanted to make sure all the Halos from the previous gens were there.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you know, Halo Reach is still a popular title in the franchise, so it's like they obviously want them all there. And if you look at the chart for the games that they're shutting off, there's two that they aren't, and that's Halo Spartan Strike on the 360 and Halo Wars on the 360. Those games are unaffected.
Right. People still play that.
Yeah, people still play that. And the thing about the Halo Wars remaster on, you know, Xbox One, it just offers 1080p. Like it doesn't offer much else, so people are probably going to stick with the 360 version, which is also backwards compatible. So it's like, you know, maybe the player base just didn't transition over to the new version, but whereas with the other Halo games, everyone's shifted over to MCC now.
I have an example. Okay, they can delist the game, but if you own it already, like Forza Horizon 2, those servers are still up and running. Even though the game is delisted, you can't buy it unless you get a disc somewhere. That game's still up and running fine. You know, so delisting and taking away previous servers are two totally different things. But you know, if you want to go old school, have a LAN party.
Yeah, the thing is, if you play Forza Horizon 2 now online, there's still people driving around. So
yeah, they are.
like the problem with 360 is that I don't think enough people are playing these Halo games anymore. And it doesn't really matter because, again, we have MCC.
Yep. You got to back up. Got to
Yeah.
back up.
I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I know there's a lot of memories out there when it comes to Halo. One of the biggest franchises in terms of online, especially on the 360. The 360 was so incredibly popular. Yo, shout out to 108 Dragons TV for hitting up that super chat. Brother, thank you so much for the support. He says, "What's good, fam?" What's good with you, Lemon Man? It is good to see you in the chat, brother. Guys, we have I just one more topic real quick, and then we can get out of here. And it is about the new Fable. And when it comes to the new Fable, let's see who this is. Anna McGill. Anna McGill recently put out on Twitter that she is hired as basically the main writer for the new Fable. And when it comes down to it, I'm trying to see here. I have it up in the article. Okay. Shout out to the Iron Lords, who that's where I got the article from, the Iron Lords website. They said if you aren't familiar with Anna McGill's work, she has an amazing resume as she has worked on such games as Zelda, Spirit Tracks, Dishonored, Control, and Guild Wars. So,
nice.
Dishonored and Control really caught my eye with this. But, so she is going to be the main writer on this. And I've had some people talk about, well, that means that this game is going to be, it's not even written yet or whatnot. And then within the article, she stated that, Playground talked to her about the vision of their game, right? So that right there, they talked about where they wanted to go with the game. They talked about kind of like, the emotion, the environment, kind of like, the feeling that you get from it. And so to me, I she's coming in as the main writer. I wanted to ask you guys, what does this mean for this Fable game? Is it really as far away as like some people are trying to tout it now because she's coming in as the main writer? Do you think that they might be a little more fleshed out than a lot of people think in terms of where they want to go with this game? Sir X-Man, what's your opinion on this, man? Does this sound like... Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, bro. Well, go ahead, finish up.
With the question that I just asked, plus does it sound like she would be a good fit for Fable moving forward with the game she's already worked on?
Yes, and I think she's there. I think they have a storyboard and some idea where they want to go, but I think she's there to enhance the story. I think she's there to expand it and make it larger and give them other ideas and different directions to go with certain characters, certain situations, and just build on what they've already started building. Some people come in for that. They don't come in to totally rewrite the whole thing, but they come in to give inspiration and ideas to make it better. That's what I think, because they've been developing this for a while and they know the path they want to go. But like I said, they brought her in just to help that path along smoother and find different directions. Because in Fable, you can go multi-directions. You can make your character good or bad. You can decide to save one person the neck and it has an effect on the other side. So that's what she's brought in for. At least that's my opinion.
All right.
Done.
All right, I got you, bro. I got you. Jamie, what do you think about this move? Same thing I basically asked Sir X-Man, do you think that this sounds like with the games that she's worked on, do you think that this sounds like a good fit where Fable is going? And do you think that, this means that they are really, really at square absolute one when it comes to this new Fable game, and it's going to be like years before we see anything?
Well, I think it fits because, the whole Guild Wars 2 thing. Like, Guild Wars 2 was very high fantasy, so that game had a ton of writing. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good fit. And the thing is, what people are mixing up with is that, like, writing can come later in a game and people don't realize it. Mass Effect 2, one of the best games ever made, writing came down the line later. The thing about a lot of games is that they come up with a plot and a narrative, and then they have a writer fill in the blanks, because that's how everything works. Like unless it's like a film or a TV show, everything's storyboarded in advance, and then they write it. But the thing with games is that a lot of things are made in production, and then they come in with the story later, because they have to make the game world. And then if they make things in the story that they have to make, if they write things in the story that they have to make in the game, that'll happen. Like, people are saying, "Oh, it's going to be 3 or 4 years out." It's like, no. Like Mass Effect 2 came out in 3 years, well, 2.5. But it's like the writing came later to that game, like, and it has some of the best writing ever made. Like.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Like, it sounded like you got cut off for a second, brother. My apologies, man. I don't know. When it's all said and done, I think I'm looking forward to this title. I'm looking forward to see exactly where they go. I know a lot of people want a more mature title. They do want that sense of humor in there, but they do want a more mature kind of like story moving forward. Stuff like that, and that's where I feel like this writer, with being on Dishonored and being on Control, which definitely have more adult themed stories in it, I feel like this can be a really good fit. And then everybody in the studio around her can fill in with kind of like that cheeky humor, and kind of fill it out in those sections. So I think this is actually a really good move. In terms of how long it might be in terms of development, you see all the studios that are underneath Microsoft's belt right now when it comes to first party. Take as long as you need. That's what I think right there. Like, take as long as you need to take to make this game exactly what you want to make it. And I think, the hard work and the time put into it will show exactly, when this game does release. I am really excited for this. The trailer had me hyped, where the bullfrog, kind of ate the fairy at the end, showing that sense of humor. But also,
that fairy was cute. That sucked.
But you got like a feeling of, there was humor there, but the graphic wise, the look of the surroundings and stuff, it felt more, it did feel more grown up in certain ways. You know what I'm saying? And I'm really excited to see what they do with this, especially Playground. I know them from Forza Horizon and all that good stuff, but yeah, it's gonna be very interesting to see what they do with a fantasy type game when it comes to the Fable franchise. An existing franchise that has a fan base that wants certain things from their game. And I can't wait to see if they are going to put that out there and what new things that they are going to come up with. So I am really excited for this. If it's 3 years away, if it's 4 years away, so be it. When we get more information, I will be the first one in there to check it out. When we get gameplay, I'll be the first one there to see exactly what's going on with that as well. But I am really, really excited for this, and it is good to see that they are moving forward and getting things done and getting the right people in place for it. But with that being said, guys, that's pretty much it, guys. This is the Series X podcast. If you liked what you heard tonight, definitely hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, definitely subscribe. We're going into the intros right now. The outros, actually. Intros. We're going to start again, guys, is what we're going to do. But we are going into the outros. Now, first off, I'm going to go to our guest here, Sir X-Man. Sir X-Man, again, I am absolutely... I am so happy that you asked for the link to join up with us tonight, man. You followed the rules. You didn't mention any other platforms because PC is Xbox, Xbox is PC. So that's all good. We can do that there. You follow the rules to a T. Absolutely appreciate that, man. You stream on Twitch, and you are a part of this community. So let people know about your Twitch channel and what's going on there. And also, let people know where they can go to talk games, like your Twitter and stuff like that, bro.
Sir X Man 1 on Twitch, where I stream golf with Xbot. We had to stop
Nice.
a little early today for the show. Um, I do fight night tonight around 9 p.m. Central Time. Me, K Mega, Crispy Bomb, whoever shows up. And you can catch me at Sir Space X Spaceman on Twitter. That's about all I got until I do some YouTube stuff again.
Nice,
That's
nice,
it.
nice, brother. And again, I appreciate you coming on, man. It was an absolute blast, and we will have you on again if you want to come back on, man. We will definitely
If I'm
have
not
you
at
on.
work.
That's true. That is true. All right, and we got to go to my partner in crime, man. The most patient YouTuber I know for dealing with a guy like me, and that is the elusive gamer, aka Jamie Moran. Brother, what is going on with your YouTube channel, and of course, your social media, Twitter, stuff like that, man? You gotta let people know this stuff. It is the professional thing to do, bro.
It's always a pleasure, man. And yeah, when it comes to the whole YouTube thing, I mean, we're getting close to Christmas, but I'm still going to put out content over the next few days. I have a big Xbox video coming out tomorrow, which people should really tune into if you have an Xbox Series X and S or wanting one. And then in between then and Christmas, I have an Enslaved video coming out, another Let's Play, and that'll be it for the year. I think. And that's the Elusive Gamer on YouTube, and my Twitter is Jamie Moran, where it's just game and stuff.
Nice, brother. And huge shout out to everybody who hung out with us tonight, man. All you Xbox gamers out there in the chat, shout out to you guys for your continued support when it comes not only to this show, but to this channel. YouTube is doing their whole purge thing. So guys, I ask you to share this video out, share this show out. Let people know about this channel. Let people know that there is a place that they can come and talk about Xbox without getting any of the toxic people, in the chat ready to just bash everything you say, stuff like that. We got to get through this purge together, guys, and I know we can do it. As long as we work together, we can definitely do it. So please share out the channel, share out the show. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. And until next week, guys, keep it gaming. And as always, keep it Xbox. Have a great night, everybody.